but maybe rugby, soccer. I think you guys do know this instinctually. Whatever way you kick the ball, if you wanted the ball to go very, very high, let's say this is you, and you want to kick the ball, okay? It's a perfect drawing of a ball. Don't judge. And let's say you wanted to buy time for your players to reassemble and get into position where they need to go. And so you can kick the volley basically in the X direction, in the Y direction, or anywhere in between, right? So you can kick the ball in any range between X and Y, right? And you can envision that it's two vectors. So let's say I wanted to kick the ball really high up in the air and buy a lot of time for my players to get into position. How would I kick this ball, chat? I still want it to go in the X direction. I still want it to go forward, but I need to buy time for my players to get into position. Let's say you're kicking it from back to midfield, and I just need to buy time. Closer to the Y-axis, exactly, Zir. So the way you'd actually kick the ball then would be closer to the Y and increase the angle. So you want a higher angle here. So for example, I'll draw it here. Your vector in the Y direction would be really, really large, while your vector in the X would be small. Your resultant vector, if you combine the X and Y, would be something like this. Okay? So this is how you would kick the ball if you're trying to buy some time for your players and you wanted to make sure that there was a good angle to it and it was high in the air for a very long time. So in this way, your Y vector is really, really high, while your X vector is very, very short, very small magnitude. Now, what about a different situation? What if you can see your players legging it in the front and they're getting in position to score a goal as long as they don't break the offside rule? How would you kick the ball to ensure, let's say you're in midfield, to passing it up to forwards? How would you ensure that the ball gets there as quickly and as efficiently as possible? Your player is already in position and not offside. Kick it a bit wide and with a spin on it. Lads, you're such little shits purposely answering incorrectly. I know you know all of this. So obviously you want as much power, exactly, as much power in the X. So your X vector is going to be a lot larger, while your Y vector is going to be a lot smaller. So your resultant vector then will be somewhere around here. There's more speed in the X, basically, direction. You need it there. It obviously still needs to have a little bit of height. That's the way you kick it. Now, why did I go through this whole rant of explaining the vector and the X and Y and resultant vector and how it works? Because I'm just trying to highlight that you actually know this instinctually. Maybe not many of you have kicked a ball around before, but if you played soccer like myself, or any other sport, pretty much any other sport, you do know about vectors instinctually. Maybe not the mathematical side, but you do know how to kick the ball and you know why you're kicking the ball in a certain angle in a certain way.